I welcome you all to the fifth segment of lecture number 32. So in this segment, we will be looking at the question of violation of FET clause, but only with regard to federal measures. In the next segment, we will look at with regard to California measures. So initially, the claimant made an argument by also citing GAMI case, that the measures had to be looked at holistically for the tribunal to arrive at a decision whether there is a violation of FET clause. But after saying this, what the claimant wanted the tribunal to do was they wanted to look at the measures individually, as well as it wanted the tribunal to look at the measures cumulatively. So they stated that these measures have violated the FET clause as per international law's minimum standard of treatment itself. So it's manifestly arbitrary, grossly arbitrary, manifestly unreasonable and all of that. That's the standard that they had arrived at with regard to the content of or the scope of FET clause under NAFTA. Then the claimants wanted to look at the tribunal in terms of this. So what we see here is the claimant specifically raised issues with regard to three things at the federal level. That is, the claimant stated that the federal measures, there was an undue delay in the review process, and then it challenged the specific federal measures of M opinion and the record of decision. And finally, the cultural review that was undertaken, that was also challenged by the claimant. With regard to the delay in the review process of the imperial project, the claimant wanted to sort of, make two categorization from when it had submitted the plan of operations till it had submitted the notice of intent to arbitrate. Then the second phase of period was from the notice of intent to arbitrate till the arbitration process. That would be the second period. So what it stated was, there was, even in the, if you remember what we discussed in expropriation, the delay in the review gave sufficient scope for California to enact those regulations, right? So what here the claimant was talking about was, there was an unnecessary delay from when it had submitted the plan of operation to the notice of intent to arbitrate. Then the tribunal stated that yes, there is a delay compared to the standard, ordinary standard. Usually it takes 2 to 3 years for reviewing the plan of operations or the project related documents, but here there was a delay. But the tribunal stated that because the project is also complex, so it is justified, the delay is justified because of the complexity of the project itself. And then with regard to the second phase, what had happened was, after the notice of intent to arbitrate was sent by the claimant, the US did not undertake any review process itself. So the claimant stated that we never asked you to stop the review process. You are supposed to still do the review process. Then the United States stated that before the claimant sent the notice to arbitrate, notice of intent, they would frequently send reminders, keep following up with regard to the review process. But after they had sent the notice to intent to arbitrate, they did not do so. So the United States itself stated that there was a shift in claimant's behavior as well, from sending diligent notice to now not following up at all. So they were under the impression that there was no progress that's going to happen here. So that is why the review process did not continue. So the tribunal stated that they sympathized with Glamis' intention or Glamis' claim that why did they stop the review process. But then the tribunal sort of stated that the US, why would they undertake the review process at the same time while they are defending their measures in an investment arbitration. So the tribunal concluded that it is not something that amounts to grossly arbitrary or manifestly unjust and all those elements that it had earlier described for the scope of Article 1105. So it does not elevate to that particular level, and stated that there is no violation of Article 1105 with regard to this. Then moving on to the second measure, that is with regard to M opinion as well as the record of decision taken by the Secretary of Interior. So here also the tribunal stated that the claimant stated that the M opinion introduced a new standard and that was unprecedented. And then the record of decision had rejected the plan of operation. So these have violated, these measures of federal government had violated Article 1105. So here also one of the interesting thing that claimant had stated was the M opinion, when a new standard was applicable and all of that, the notice requirement was not fulfilled. The claimant was not given any notice, and that violates the administrative law also. So here what the tribunal found was, with regard to M opinion, again there was a new standard that was discussed in the M opinion, but it is a recent and a general application one, and therefore this is not something, just because a new standard has been discussed here, it will not violate Article 1105, because it was a recent and a measure of general application, and also that both M opinion as well as a record of decision was immediately rescinded. So since it was immediately rescinded, the tribunal refused to elevate this to a violation of Article 1105. That is how they decided with regard to the second issue also. Then with regard to the third one, the cultural review. So here the claimant made a contention that the methodology that was undertaken for cultural review was unique or different for Imperial project in comparison with other mining projects. So therefore it stated that there was a discriminatory treatment in the context of cultural review. So here what the tribunal looked at was, yes, a different methodology was used. In fact, the United States stated that we used a different methodology, which was a cost-effective methodology. And the United States stated that, in fact, the claimant themselves have appreciated the United States for using this methodology earlier, right? So therefore, the tribunal stated that a new methodology has been used, but it was done professionally. Some of the cultural aspects in the Imperial project, or in the Imperial, the side of the project, was very unique and significant to certain tribal communities, specifically Quechan tribal communities. So therefore, the tribunal stated that it is not going to re-evaluate the domestic finding. In the sense of the finding that was done by a domestic agency or a domestic authority, it's not going to relook at it, but it stated that there was nothing arbitrary or manifestly unjust with regard to the methodology they have adopted. Even claimant themselves had at one point had appreciated the methodology, right? So even with regard to this question, the tribunal decided that there is no violation of Article 1105. After doing this, then the tribunal went ahead and looked at the California's measure, whether they amount to violation of Article 1105. So this is something we will discuss in the last segment of the video. Thank you.